So, we're going to jump right in today with a pretty provocative question, one that comes straight from our source material. The Fall of Singapore? It's a really startling headline for sure. So, let's dig in and see what's actually behind it.
Yeah, check this out. Our source kicks things off with this statement that really makes you stop and think. On one hand, you've got this immense, unbelievable wealth. But on the other, there's this claim that its own citizens are packing their bags. And that's the central puzzle we're going to try to unpack today.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this puzzle, we first have to look at the Singapore that everyone thinks they know. You know, the quintessential Asian success story. It's often called the Singaporean ideal. And wow, do the numbers back this up? I mean, economically, Singapore is an absolute powerhouse. It boasts the highest GDP per capita in all of Asia. That's a staggering achievement, and it's really set a global standard for what development can look like. So, how on earth did they do it? Well, it's not just one thing. Singapore's success really rests on these key pillars. It's not just a financial hub, it's a magnet for capital and talent from all over the world. Its education system, consistently ranked among the very best, churning out a super skilled workforce. And all of this is built on a foundation of political stability, a reputation for being incredibly safe, and being a leader in innovation. I mean, by almost every single measure, it's a model nation. So you see this perfect, gleaming picture of success, right? But that's exactly what makes the central claim here so jarring. Is this picture of prosperity and stability really the complete picture? And that question, well, it leads us straight to the other side of the coin. Our source material points to what it calls a shocking reality, a shadow that might just be lurking behind this incredible story of success. So at the very heart of this counter-narrative is this claim of a shocking economic situation that's creating pressures so intense that people are actually thinking about leaving. But what could that possibly mean in one of the richest countries on the planet? All right, so let's dig into that. What are these pressures exactly? What kind of factors could be so powerful that they challenge the magnetic pull of Singapore's incredible success? Now, this is where it gets really interesting. On the left, you've got the official story, prosperity, growth, opportunity. But on the right, what our source calls the felt reality. It points to Singapore becoming one of the most expensive places to live on Earth. Just to own a car, the permit alone can cost you over $100,000, and that's before you even buy the car. And maybe most critically, because it's a small island with a huge influx of foreign wealth, property prices have just gone through the roof, putting that dream of owning a home further and further out of reach for a lot of young people. And you can see how this creates a kind of vicious cycle, right? It all starts with Singapore's amazing success, that rapid economic boom. But that boom, partly fueled by its appeal to the world's rich, leads directly to those skyrocketing costs for basics like housing. And that, in turn, just ramps up the competition and the pressure at work as locals struggle to keep up. And the final step in this cycle? Well, citizens start to ask themselves if the trade-offs are still worth. So this all brings us to the future. You know, the point here isn't to predict some dramatic fall, but to try and understand a nation that's really at a crossroads, grappling with the consequences of its own incredible success. You know, there's actually a name for this kind of situation, the success paradox. It's what happens when all the markers of a country's success, like a booming economy and a high GDP, end up creating these intense internal pressures that can actually hurt the quality of life for the very people who helped build all that success in the first place. And that's the real takeaway here. This isn't just a story about Singapore. It's a case study for a huge question that a lot of developed nations are facing right now. How do you balance that relentless drive for economic growth with the actual well-being of your people? And all of this leaves us with one final vital question, the ultimate thing to think about from this explainer. Does a nation's wealth, its gleaming towers, and all its impressive statistics really guarantee the happiness of its people? Thanks for watching.